Orioles are 10-4 on the road. They have the second best road record in baseball by winning percentage, only behind Milwaukee. Brandon Hyde, the skipper, year number 6. His team has won 5 of 6 and 3 straight. What a week it's been. 2 blown saves to Oakland, 2 ninth-inning losses over the weekend. Since then, the Orioles took 3 of 4 from the Yankees. They've taken the first 2 from Cincinnati, so they are playing some of the best baseball in baseball.
I tell you what, I mean, when you look at the numbers the last 6 games, the run prevention's been off the charts. The pitching and the defense has been outstanding because the Orioles have only scored 18 runs in their last 6 games. That's only 3 runs per game, but yet they are 5-1 during that span because of the defense and because of the pitching.
Cincinnati, meanwhile, 16-17. The Reds are 4.5 back in the National League Central, and they are headed in the wrong direction. Even though they got a nice big sombrero for Ellie De La Cruz in the dugout right now, so the vibes are good apparently. Reds have lost 4 straight, 7 of 9, but don't tell Ellie, who's one of the most joyful players in baseball. Maybe he'll take the field with that sombrero on because the rest of his teammates are getting out there.
Maybe he'll slow him down maybe as fast as he is. He needs that.
Yeah, he's got the sombrero on as he leaves the field. Oh, no, he's going back in the dugout. He deked us all out. Here's the Oriole lineup. They are still 4th in the majors in runs per game despite a little bit of a slower stretch of late. Gunnar Henderson is DHing. First time this season he does not start at shortstop. Jorge Mateo will be at shortstop. He's homered in 2 of his last 3. And the O's try to get Colt Kowser going. Tough matchup for him, but he has been very good away from home this season.
That lineup will face the big left-hander. Nick Lodolo, former first-round pick, 7th overall back in 2019 out of TCU. Began the year on the IL, had a calf issue, so he missed a couple of starts, had a couple of rehab starts, but since coming back, you see the numbers. I mean, it's off the charts, 1.8 ERA, 31 strikeouts, twice this year in 4 starts. He has struck out 10 or more, and you see where the opponent's batting average is for him. Last time out was probably his best start of the season against the Padres, a very good offense. He goes 7 innings, only allowed 1 hit and 1 run, and he struck out a season-high 11. This is StatCast 3D, powered by Google Cloud. We'll take a look at Nick Lodolo's pitch arsenal with those 4 starts this year. Heavy on the 4-seamer, about 52% of the time. But that curveball and changeup have been by far his best pitches. Opponents hitting 135 on the curveball, 250 on that changeup with swing and misses of over 50% on both of those pitches.
So another good pitching matchup in store. Lodolo and Kramer. Cincinnati 4-0 in Nick Lodolo starts. Cincinnati outscoring opponents 24-7 in Nick Lodolo starts. Cincinnati trying to stop this red-hot Oriole team, which is looking for its 3rd sweep of the year. April 9th to 11th in Boston. April 15th to 17th against Minnesota. Those have the day off tomorrow. They'll head to D.C. for 2. So it's a 5-game road trip. It's sort of a road trip. 3 games, and they'll go back to Baltimore for the day and then head to D.C. Make a very short trip on Tuesday. Gunnar Henderson gets ready to step in. American League Player of the Month for the months of March and April, and tied with Mike Trout for the majors home run lead. He's walked twice. He's 3 for 7 in this series. His OPS up to 925. Been a long wait on this Sunday with the late start because of the marathon. We are finally ready to play some baseball, and we'll do so with a strike thrown at 4:11 in the afternoon. Sunday, May the 5th from Cincinnati, Ohio. Henderson, Rutschman, Mountcastle, the Orioles top of the card. Gunnar swings at a 95-mile-per-hour fastball, fouls it off.
And you can already see Lodolo, 6'6" frame, so long, and where he lets the ball go, so it's a lower release point, low 3/4, and so he's going to be really tough on the left-handers. It almost feels like the ball's coming at you when he lets it go.
80-degree day here in Cincinnati as Lodolo misses with ball 1. Orioles 5.1 runs per game, still lead the majors in home runs with 51. They hit 2 last night. And Henderson pops up the game's first breaking ball behind the plate. Luke Manley in the on-deck circle makes a catch.
Well, here's the Reds defense behind 26-year-old Nick Lodolo. Spencer Steer in left, Benson in center. Fraley gets to start in right field. Dela Cruz and Jonathan India up the middle. Espinal over at third, Strand at first, and Luke Maley gets to start behind home plate for the Reds. So the Reds defense has struggled a little bit this year. According to fielding percentage, they're ranked 19th out of 30 teams.
Some of the other metrics even worse than that, Cincinnati. So Adley Rutschman takes a strike. Good thing for the Reds this series. They haven't had to worry about their defense much. They keep striking people out. 21 strikeouts for Cincinnati pitching in the first 2 games. High and tight to Adley, who's had a terrific 2 games. DH yesterday, caught on Friday. 4 out of 8, a double, a homer, a walk. He's knocked in 2. There's the first changeup from Lodolo for strike 2. Rutschman has been one of the best hitters in baseball right-handed this year. He's torched lefties. He struggled as a lefty against right-handed pitching. And he strikes out here, and that is pretty much what Nick Lodolo has done all season and what he's going to try to do all day.
That's what he's going to do. He's going to pitch inside with the fastball to speed the bat up. Then he's going to take that breaking ball. It almost acts like a sweeper. That ball's got a lot of left to right in it. And just underneath the bat of Adley Rutschman.
Yeah, it's called a curveball, but it sure looks like a sweeper.
Yeah.
Whatever it is devastating. Ryan Mountcastle. First pitch swinging, a pop-up out of play. Well, left-handers against Nick Lodolo in his career, 146 on-base plus slugging is crazy low. Right-handers hit him pretty well. Now that's coming into his start for the career. This year, righties are just 189. Lefties are 1 of 11 with a walk. And the Orioles have 3 lefties on the bench today. The only right-hander not in the lineup, James McCann, who caught last night. Here's a breaking ball. Mountcastle swings over the top of it. When batters swing outside the zone bend against Lodolo, they have a 65% swing and miss rate, and mainly on that pitch right there.
It almost looks like a little Chris Sale to me in him, you know, long, obviously left-handed, the way the arm slot is. And he doesn't have a lot of experience. Look, he only got 30 starts in the minor leagues, only threw 96 innings in the minor leagues. And at the big league level, only 161 innings pitched in his pro career.
And here to left from Mountcastle. That ball's into the corner. That ball's going to land in fair territory. So Ryan got a breaking ball in the zone, just kept it fair, and he picks up his 9th double, tying Anthony Santander for the team lead.
Yeah, just kind of reached out there and put a barrel on it. Just pretty much a pop-up. Boy, it's placed perfectly right off the end of the bat. Spencer Steer was kind of swung a little bit toward left center field. No chance for him to get there.
And here's the man whose doubles mark Ryan just tied. Anthony looking for his first trip on base in the series. There's a good hook.
Yeah, the Orioles are looking to pick up the pace on offense and looking to pick up the pace with runners in scoring position too. This series, only 2 for 19.
Santander much better as a right-handed hitter this year. Same with Rutschman. That one near the back foot, not close, and he wasn't close to it. Anthony is just 5 out of his last 39. He does have 5 walks in that span. So it's been a difficult, prolonged stretch for him. He's fallen a little bit below league average overall at the plate this year. That one, though, is very hittable, and Santander did not miss it. 2 2-out hits against the Lodolo curveball in the first inning. Santander drives in Mountcastle, and the Orioles strike in the opening inning.
Well, Santander getting the party started right here.
And it is 3-0 in a blink.
Well, Westburg 0 for 7 in this series coming into this final game. And folks, I'm going to tell you what, that's some pop. That is a rocket backside, almost a line drive getting out of here. Make it Westberg's 6th long ball of the year, his 23rd RBI. A little two-out magic for the Orioles here in the first. Well, watch this swing right here. Does it get any prettier than this? Fastball just kind of middle away, inside-out swing. The hands go first, the barrel behind it, and they rock it out.
Shore with a big hug for Anthony Santander, whose 0-2 hit sets up Westberg. He was 0 for 7 in the series. So Santander and Westberg are combined 0 for 15 with a walk and 6 strikeouts in the series. Back-to-back pitches, they drive in runs.
Boy, and the Orioles continue to hit the long ball, man. 52 of them now in the year. Nobody else in the big leagues even has 50 yet.
Jorge Mateo, who homered yesterday, ready for a 1-2. And Mateo swept away. Really felt like Nick Lodolo made 3 mistakes in the whole inning, and the Orioles hit all 3.
Yeah, they were hit too. Rocket by Santander, Mountcastle to pop up, and then that 2-run shot by Westy.
Anthony Santander. RBI single for Anthony, 2-run homer for Jordan. Dean Kramer's got a 3-0 lead before he throws the pitch, and he'll throw pitches against the 14th highest scoring team in the majors out of 30, Cincinnati. Will Benson and Ellie De La Cruz pack some power at the top. Jonathan India, who had 2 hits, moves down to the 6th spot against the red-hot right-hander Kramer.
There's Dean Kramer making his 7th start of the year, the 77th of his career.
And his first pitch up and away to Will Benson. Well, given the way the Orioles have pitched of late, 3 runs has been enough for Baltimore. 3 runs would be enough to win each of the last 6 games. We'll see if Dean can make it hold up as he fires a fast one past Benson for strike 1.
I like where Dino's been his last couple of starts. 3 starts ago, gave up some runs against the Brewers, but then he settled right back in against the Angels. Outstanding against the Yankees.
Here's the first splitter of the game, which has been a terrific pitch for Kramer. The league is 1 for 18 against that one. Splitter, cutter have been really good. 4-seamer's been hit hard. How will Dean utilize the pitch mix today? 2-1 goes to another 4-seamer and misses outside. 25-year-old Will Benson 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts in the series. 48 strikeouts in 121 plate appearances. And he's in a 3-2 count right now.
Yeah, Dean Kramer's having a good year. I mean, you talk about whip, opponent's batting average, strikeout to walk ratio, ground ball rate is up as well. All career best in all 4 of those categories. Biggest one for me is less walks. Less walks, 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio as a starter is a good number.
3-2 hit on the ground to Jordan Westberg, and he takes care of Benson for the first out.
Here's the Oriole defense behind Dean Kramer, ranked 5th out of 30 teams in fielding percentage. Cowser in left, McKenna in center, Santander in right. Your double play combination, Mateo and Westberg. Urias, the Gold Glover, over at third. Mounty at first, and Adley Rutschman back behind home plate for the Orioles.
Well, a good start for Dean as he'll face Ellie De La Cruz. 4 strikeouts and a double in the series. Dean had been getting very, very little ground ball contact on the 4-seamer this year, and he starts the game getting a ground ball off the 4-seamer. See if that pitch can have a little bit more movement, better location today as he dumps in a curveball to De La Cruz.
Yeah, typically his 4-seamer's not going to create a lot of ground balls because he likes to pitch up in the zone with that 4-seamer. Now, he'll take that 2-seam fastball, which is still kind of new for him, and he'll create some ground balls with that pitch. He likes the 4-seamer up there. He likes to change the eye level, and the reason why, he's got that curveball behind it, the splitter behind that as well.
De La Cruz, the major league leader in steals. Orioles will try to attack him down in the zone this series. Man, that splitter had him way off balance.
If he can throw that one in the zone, especially in fastball counts like that, he's going to have a lot of success today. That's a really good splitter. One, the action was really good, too. It was a fastball count.
So 4 off-speed pitches out of the first 5 to Ellie De La Cruz. Had both of the Reds hits on Friday, 0 for 4 yesterday with 3 strikeouts, including one in the ninth with 2 out, nobody on, where he was the winning run. 3-2 again. Up the ladder, and Dean gets him swinging with a 95-mile-an-hour heater.
That's one of the many things I love about Dean Kramer. He can reach back and step on one every now and then. He steps on 95, just about letter high, and no chance for De La Cruz.
Make it 32 strikeouts, 35 innings for Dean. A couple of full counts. A couple of winning pitches at the end of it. Spencer Steer takes the first cutter. Steer has the only RBI this series for Cincinnati in a 9th inning single yesterday. Cincinnati fought back, putting 2 on with nobody out, and then loading the bases with 1 out. Yennier Cano had to come in after Craig Kimbrell could not get out of the 9th inning. Gave up 3 base runners out of 4 batters. Cano walked Tyler Stevenson, then got a strikeout and fly out to seal the win. 0-2 cutter beaten into the ground. Rutschman's there. Bare hand spin and a dart. And Dean Kramer with a 1-2-3 first. His offense gave him 3 runs. He gives them 3 outs. We'll win 500 more for every Orioles home run, or even one of those, and 5,000 more for each O's Grand Slam. Learn how you can win at mdlottery.com/home run. Oh,
there you go.
Beautiful orange cowboy hats here in Cincinnati. Appears to be the theme of the day, big hats. Ellie had one. Fans have some. We are in Ohio, not Texas, right? Is that a Cincinnati thing I don't know about?
That I don't know, but sure are a lot of those hats around.
Ryan McKenna, hard to hit ground ball right to De La Cruz, who throws him out. Nick Lodolo with an out to start the second. So 21 pitches in the first inning for Lodolo. He throws 2 two-strike curveballs in the strike zone. Mountcastle doubles, Santander singles, and then a sinker, a pitch he only throws 3% of the time, gets drilled by Westberg for a home run. There's a strike to one of the 2 lefties in the lineup, Colton Cowser. The Roebling extension for one of the couple of bridges here.
Big tugboat pushing a barge down.
That bridge was built in 1866. John Roebling, who was also the designer of the Brooklyn Bridge, notably. We've got the Clay Wade Bailey Bridge around here, the Roebling Suspension Bridge. A little bit harder getting into the game today because right along the waterfront here in Cincinnati, we had the Flying Pig Marathon. That's why today's game started at 4:11, 3 hours later than usual.
Yeah, that marathon went off at what, 6:30 this morning? That's getting up early, wanting to run 26.2 miles.
What's the most you ever run consecutive miles?
Probably 10.
You've run 10 miles, really?
Yeah. I had a coach in college that thought we were going to run it to the plate that year. So we we ran a lot, especially in the fall, I guess, getting in shape.
Yeah.
I said, Coach, we're going to run it to the plate this year or what? He said, shut up, McDonald, and just run.
Fouled away by Colton. And then you were the #1 pick, so it all worked out,
yeah.
Clearly. Just go run 10 miles, kids. That's how you can become the #1 pick. Doesn't feel like pitchers do run, though, nearly as much as
no,
they used to.
It's changed. I mean, you know, the day after the game, typically you would see, you know, as early as what, maybe 8-9 years ago, you'd see the 2 starting pitchers from the previous night. They'd be on the warning track, getting their work in and getting their running in, but you don't see it that much anymore.
There's a good plate appearance for Colton. He walks on 7 pitches, his 10th walk of the season. And again, Lodolo's death to lefties, so good to see Cowser, a lefty, work his way on. Ramon Urias, last man to bat. Swings through a 92-mile-an-hour strike. This has ended today the Orioles' 13 left-handed starters faced. Among the most in the major leagues. Tack on another one here, which has been good and bad for Brandon Hyde. Mostly good. The team's 22-11. You get to go through your roster. The Orioles are very balanced, so he's been able to play everybody quite a bit here and there. The bad news is Ryan O'Hearn is getting buried. He's only played 23 of the first 33 games, and he's maybe been the Orioles' best hitter when he's played. But O'Hearn has not started against a lefty. Cedric Mullins had a little bit of a tough time of late. He's seen a lot of lefties. But on the whole, you have 2 switch hitters on the team, a good lefty-righty mix, and the Orioles are really happy with their balance. They're 9-4 against left-handed starters this year, 13-7 against righties. So the numbers are good on both accounts.
And the numbers were good last year too. The Orioles were one of the best teams in baseball facing left-handed starters last year as far as wins and losses.
Ramon trying to snap out of a little 0 for 7 here. And he'll take the breaking ball down and in. Urias' first start since Wednesday. Former Gold Glover down at third base today. That's way inside. He's run it full, as Cowser did before him.
Yeah, you mentioned the Orioles 22-11 through their first 33 games. Best record in the American League, second best record in all of baseball. Only the Phillies have a better winning percentage right now.
3-2, Cowser's going, and he is picked off. That'll be a pickoff caught stealing. Only the 4th caught stealing of an Oriole runner this year, and the 2nd pickoff.
Yeah, when you're still against a left-hander, you're going on first move. So as soon as Lodolo picks that leg up, you're off and moving. It's a foot race. Lodolo, a good firm throw over to Strand at first base, and a nice throw back to Dela Cruz. So you shorten the lead up to make him think, well, I'm not going to go. It didn't work this time.
And then Urias hits one softly to India. 3rd career pickoff for Nick Lodolo as he faces the minimum. Today, 18-2 strikeout to walk ratio. These are all the Oriole pitchers, I should say. Less than 13 pitches per inning. The Reds coming into the game 8 out of 60, 2 doubles and 0 home runs.
Yeah, you talk about efficient. Cole Irving to get through his 6 1/3, only 72 pitches. John Means to get through 7 last night, only 85 pitches.
Dave Kramer threw 15 in the first. Splitter is high and wide to the Reds cleanup man, Jake Fraley.
These Oriole pitchers have been at their best when it's mattered the most. I mean, you go back to the last 6 games, opponents are 2 for 27 runners in scoring position. That is a big number.
Bases loaded, 1 out in the 9th yesterday. Cano got out of it. They've held the Reds homerless back-to-back games. Cincinnati has not been held homerless in 3 straight on the year. Fraley into shallow left field. Will be retired by Cowser. So Deke Kramer last year was dominant deeper into the game. 3rd time through the order, he was really, really good. This year he's been more dominant from the start. Lowest opposing average the first time through the lineup. It's a 7th best mark at 122. And the OPS is 449. We've seen him really mix his pitches well early. Christian Encarnacion Strand, who just loves swinging in this series, grounds out on a cutter to short. 5 in a row retired to start the game by Dean.
Yeah, Dean's one of those pitchers. I mean, most starting pitchers have a little bit of trouble in the first inning, trying to get their feet wet, trying to figure out what's working for him. But Dean seems to be mostly a fast starter. Like, he's got it figured out from the beginning. So far today, it's been good. Good breaking balls, pretty good splitter. Fastball up when he needs it.
Jonathan India, that's a slow cutter. His average cutter on the year is 87. That one was 84. And the cutter has been a lot slower and a little loopier today. Don't know if that's by design or just early in the game. But it's something to take note of as we get deeper into the game. Will Dean start to mess with the shape and speed of that one more? There's another one. That's a little bit tighter at 86, and it gets a swinging strike.
It's almost like he's got one. He just kind of dumps it in there, and then he can ramp it up a notch or two. I feel like he threw a few more cutters in his last start than what he typically does. The usage was up a little bit.
And just because we say he throws a cutter, that doesn't mean they're all created equally. There can be several different variations on that pitch. We've seen Dean mess with shape and speed a few different times over the years. It's his 5th season in the big leagues. Elevated fastball. India, who's a very patient hitter, takes it. That's how patient.
I mean, Dean Kramer back in 21, you remember it, 0-7 with a 7.55 ERA. He is a totally different guy now.
Another slower cutter down to third. Kramer's got 2 perfect innings to start the game. Cutting it, splitting it, getting outs. Since 1865. And by Visit Annapolis. Adventure begins in Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. Plan today at visitannapolis.org. Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, which is named, by the way, for Great American Insurance Group. Not as I first thought, for just being a Great American Ballpark. It is actually a sponsor. Though it is a great name for one of the proud franchises in Major League Baseball. Formerly the Cincinnati Redlegs and Red Stockings. Now just the Cincinnati Reds. They've been here at Great American Ballpark since 2003.
Remember the Big Red Machine when I was a kid?
Played at Riverfront Stadium all those years. World Series championships right there.
Yeah, the Orioles beat the Reds, in the 1970 World Series. Beat them 4 out of 5.
Inside from Nick Lodolo to Gunnar Henderson, leading off in the 3rd. Fouled out to the catcher his first time. Henderson swings and misses. Lodolo slows down the breaking ball for his 3rd strikeout.
That's where he's trying to get those 2-strike breaking balls right there. In the zone and then just off the outside part of the plate.
Lodolo's retired the leadoff man every inning. Here's Adley Rutschman. Adley has tortured left-handed pitchers this year. One down at 3rd, gobbled up by Espinal, who was a late replacement for Espinal for Candelario. Espinal was. With Orioles online auctions, you can score exclusive team items like a Jordan Westburg Game Used City Connect jersey, Corbin Burns autographed baseball, and a Ryan O'Hearn Game Used bat. But you can only get those ones until 10 o'clock tonight. Proceeds benefit the Orioles Charitable Foundation. Bid now at Orioles.com/auction. Orioles and Diamondbacks represented in that shot. Arizona will be coming to town this weekend. Slow start for the defending National League champions. Diamondbacks are just 14-20. They've lost 3 in a row. Corbin Carroll, the other rookie of the year last year, has struggled mightily.
Yeah, the Orioles are about to hit a stretch that teams are below 500. You know, and you never know what's going to happen. But their next 18 games, they're going to play 3 games against a team that is currently over 500 out of their next 18, and that's the Mariners.
Yeah, that looked like maybe a more dangerous stretch at the start of the year because it includes Arizona, it includes Toronto, it includes St. Louis, who were all thought to be better. 1-2. Just missed with a changeup. Orioles also go to Washington in that stretch, who's been playing better than expected, and then the White Sox, who have been playing, well, worse than expected. Chicago 7-26. That is the worst record in baseball, a game back of Colorado and Miami. Two. Another breaking ball that hung in the zone on 2 strikes. Ryan couldn't keep this one fair.
Yeah, Lodolo's thrown some really good breaking balls, but he's also left a couple right out over the heart of the plate in 2-strike counts as well. When you get down against Lodolo, that's what you're hoping for is a mistake. Santander got one.
That's not a mistake. 1, 2, 3 for Lodolo. 2 more Ks in the third. Out of the first 6 outs. One of the successes this year for Dean, getting more balls on the ground. Now the 4-seamer's been hit in the air a lot and hit hard. The other pitches have all been really good. Notably the sinker, which is getting a 70% ground ball rate, but also changing that changeup to a splitter grip, and has been a huge part of his success.
Yeah. Well, it worked for Cole Irvin. He had a bunch of ground balls. John Means did as well. You know, when you go back to the center part of that 22 season, that's when Dean Kramer and Kyle Bradish both picked up that 2-seam fastball, and it's made a difference for both of them. Matter of fact, Bradish the other day in his first start, I felt like the majority of the fastballs he threw were 2-seam fastballs.
Nick Martini's first start of the series. He falls behind 0-2.
It's just pitchers trying to stay one step ahead of the hitters. You know, I mean, there was a time, about a 4-year period, where pitchers attacked big league hitters right at the top of the zone with those high spin 4-seam fastballs. Well, hitters have worked really hard the last couple of years to try to get on top of those balls, and so you see pitchers trying to stay a little bit ahead and going back to some balls down in the zone.
Kramer, ball and 2 strikes for the ice cold Martini. 5 out of his last 45, all singles. Only 1 walk in that span for the 33-year-old DH.
Yeah, you look at the bottom 3 in this Reds lineup. Martini's hitting 184, Espinal 176, and Maile in the 9-hole 156.
And down he goes. 95 miles an hour, high heat to shake and stir Martini for the first out of the third.
Dino just kind of lull you to sleep. 91, 92, and then, boy, he can reach back and give you a little extra, and that ball just located perfect. This is the 4-seamer. This is right where he wants it, right at the top of the zone at 95, and you can't throw one any better than that. You can see where Adley Rutschman's target was, exactly where he wanted it.
And he dumps in the cutter to Espinal. Santiago Espinal, a late entrant into the lineup today. Jeimer Candelario fouled a ball off his shin last night. And Candelario was scratched a short while before the game. Espinal, though, is actually 5 for 7 with 2 walks career against Kramer, so it's a little surprising he wasn't in there to start. And a ground ball to short, sucked up by Mateo. Playing there for the first time all season. He makes a fine delivery.
Yeah, what's new, huh? You talk about cover some ground, and Mateo can cover some ground. This ball going up the middle, but Mateo easy, a little spin, points the shoulders, and that big arm across the diamond. Georgie's playing some ball this year, folks. He's doing it on both sides.
Orioles have been so good defensively. Top 9 in fielding percentage, defensive run save, which is a Sports Info Solutions metric that charts every play. Outs above average, more of a range-based metric. And the Orioles have 5 players at 2 or more outs above average. Only 2 other teams can say that.
Yeah, that fielding percentage has come a long way. Because you remember the first 7 or 8 games of the year, the Orioles were about an error a game. But they have been really clean lately.
Backup catcher Luke Maley in a 1-1 count. Maley was retired as a pinch hitter each of the first 2 games. Fastball into center field. Ryan McKenna makes the play. 9 up and 9 down for Dean Kramer. Perfect on this Sunday. That means 3 years ago, the Orioles' first 9-inning no-hitter by an individual pitcher since Jim Palmer in 1969. 12 strikeouts, no walks. The only runner to reach was Sam Haggerty on a strikeout. Wild pitch that got away from Pedro Severino. The first pitcher in Major League history to throw a non-perfect game without a hit, walk, hit by pitch, or error as the Orioles won 6-0 in Seattle. John Means made his season debut yesterday. Maybe the best he's been since then. No-hitter 3 years ago.
I think you could make the case. He faced 27 batters that day of the no-hitter. 26 out of 27 first pitch strikes. That's how good he was against the Mariners.
You called that game. When did you feel like it was something special?
I really felt like from the beginning. He struck out the first 2 batters of the game. He struck out Haniger and he struck out Ty France, and all of a sudden he just started painting that fastball inside, and then really what he did yesterday, enough fastballs in to get to the changeup. The changeup was outstanding as well. Threw a few breaking balls in that game, but it was fastball heavy changeup. But you could just tell he was working fast, a lot like he did yesterday, and he had pinpoint control.
Lodolo burns Santander with a low fastball. 5th strikeout for the Cincinnati lefty.
Yeah, Lodolo's gotten in the groove. The Orioles got to him in the first with 3 runs, but since then, he's been really good, and that's a good fastball right to the inside part. Lodolo's got enough on the fastball. You start looking for that curveball or changeup, he can zip 94, 95 right by you.
Westburn first pitch swinging again. He homered in the first, and he flies out in the 4th. Birdland Friday, head to the ballpark to see the Orioles and the Diamondbacks, and to get your Mr. Splash bobblehead. First 20,000 fans 15 and over receive this one-of-a-kind giveaway with a signature floppy hat, goggles, snorkel, and flamingo floaty. You don't want to miss it. Go to Orioles.com/tickets.
There's you a floppy hat.
Hawaiian shirt, floppy hat. The Orioles have supported their road faithful. Now the best winning percentage because the Brewers lost today. So scratch the previous note.
Orioles were right there last year too on the road, weren't they? Outstanding on the road last year.
.52-29 is a franchise best road mark last year. The 12-7 at home. Looking to get to 11-4 away from it. Mateo out of play. Jorge's been on base 10 straight games. That's what he's done during the stretch. 5 extra base hits. This you love to see. Fly balls and line drives are up. Pop-ups, ground balls are down for Mateo. Very balanced with the swing. And he did not go there, according to the crew chief Andy Fletcher, on a tight changeup.
Yeah, Georgia getting the ball in the air a little bit more. Ooh, that could have been called right there. The Orioles might have caught a break on that one.
Yeah, they would have had no recourse for argument had it been a strike. That one's a swing, though, and Lodolo is cruising. He struck out 4 the last 2 innings. Better availability means better deals at your Toyota dealer. Shop buyatoyota.com. Kevin Brown, Ben McDonald with Rob Long and our massive crew from Cincinnati, Ohio. The Orioles hoping to win the series 3-0. They lead the game 3 runs to none. Dean Kramer has been perfect through 3. Second time through the order, starts with a swinging strike. His 7th swinging strike of the game as Will Benson whips on a curveball. 5 groundouts induced by Kramer. 2 strikeouts, 2 flyouts, and there's a dancing splitter to make it 0-2.
So slow. Is he going to go back to that 4-seam fastball right above the top of the zone again? Had some success there today. Not yet.
Benson, De La Cruz, and Steer for Cincinnati. Second lowest batting average in the league, but middle of the pack in runs scored. Up the ladder at 95. Dean has 3 strikeouts and 2 have been on the elevated fastball.
Boy, he can do it up there, can he? I thought he would go to it the pitch before that, but he wanted one more split on the outside part, and he grates back, gets 95 just above the top of the zone. So working it a little bit north and south.
Now Ellie De La Cruz. You mentioned the other night Ellie De La Cruz was the first ever player with 8 home runs and 17 steals in a calendar month. Since at least 1901, nobody hit 8 home runs in a year, so I think we can safely assume it never happened in a month in the pre-1901 era. But this is the list of guys, if we lower it a little: 7 homers, 15 steals in a month. Carlos Beltran, Barry Bonds, Ricky Henderson, Joe Morgan, Lou Brock.
Yeah, that's pretty good company.
Who, if you're just going by baseball stuff, would be 5 Hall of Famers. Maybe that's the kind of potential for Ellie De La Cruz. He's 22 years old. He's got 19 steals. He's got 8 homers. Leads the majors in steals. He's tied for 2nd in the National League in home runs. He's 6'5". He's got the biggest cannon in baseball on the infield.
Ooh, good splitter again. That's twice 2-1 counts, fastball type counts. He's able to land that splitter on the outside part. Yeah, what we say, when this series began, De La Cruz was on pace for a 40-90 season, which obviously never been done before.
Stole a base in the first inning Friday. He's only been on base 1 time since then. He struck out now 5 of the last 6 at-bats. And he pops this one foul. Kramer going after it. Dean loves to run for foul balls. He's an athlete.
Dino's amped up a little bit. He was hunting the second out of this inning, too. He thought he had a chance. Watch him. He's not taking anything for granted. Off and moving toward the Oriole dugout.
The hat flying off, exposing his glorious dark locks.
He's got him tied up right now, those locks.
This is a good air battle, Kramer against Ellie. Two.
Now this is where you want to create contact, because I promise you, if De La Cruz gets on, he will be moving toward second.
In the air, left center field, slicing away from Cowser, but he gets there. And Colton, who has got good jumps this season on fly balls, puts away De La Cruz. Host fans, the Orioles multi-game pack is here. Build your preferred 3-game pack and unlock no fees. Also, you can purchase 1 or 2 additional games to unlock additional Keogh's matchups. Visit Orioles.com/multi-pack to learn more. De La Cruz retired on the 7th pitch. 11 up, 11 down. Spencer Steer has seen nothing but cutters so far.
Red so far in this series, 8 hits, 8 for 71 so far. That's 113 batting average. That's how good the Oriole pitchers have been.
And only 2 walks. Those were both in the 9th inning last night. 1 run the first 21 innings.
Yeah, the Orioles came in today as a pitching staff the fewest walks in Major League Baseball.
At 3rd in strikeout to walk number, 2nd in walk rate, 5th in strikeout rate.
11th most strikeouts in baseball and the fewest walks. That's a pretty good combination.
2-1 from Dean. Got him on a cutter. So that's a little bit sharper than the cutter Spencer Steer saw in the first inning.
And that's at least 3 times today he's thrown something other than a fastball in a fastball count. Twice with the splitter, once with that cutter.
Cutter usage is up again today. And this time he tried to run the fastball over the outside corner. Missed with a two-seamer.
We can say that looked like a two-seamer. That's the one he wants to start just off the outside edge and just kind of work it back.
Another 3-2 count. 2-out pitch to Steer. Popped him up right field. Santander on the edge of the shadows puts him away. 4 innings for Dean Kramer. Absolutely no damage. Nobody on. The Orioles start a rally with Ryan Mountcastle.
Yeah, Mountie gets a double right down the line, and Santander on a 2-strike count gets a hanging breaking ball, barrels it up the middle. That would push across Mountcastle. And then first ball, fastball, hunting Westberg, just a bullet out to right field. His 6th long ball of the year, his 23rd RBI. And the Orioles got out quick in this one, 3-0.
Those are all the runs. Those are all the hits in the game. Ryan McKenna pops up the first pitch of the 5th inning to Espinal. Thanks to Steve Molesky for drawing our attention to this. The Orioles had not scored on the road in the first inning this season, which is insane because they have the best road record in baseball, 10-4, and they hadn't scored a single first inning run in the 14 road games. In fact, coming into the game, the Orioles were tied for 23rd in baseball in first inning runs total, with only 12 in the first 33. Not many areas they could improve offensively. That's one. 4th in the league in runs per game, and way down near the bottom in the first inning.
Well, Lodolo maybe wasn't quite as sharp in the first inning. Started off very uneventful. Pop up by Henderson, punch out by Rutschman, and then 3 hits in a row. But since then, he has settled in nicely.
2 strikes to Colt Cowser. Cowser, 7-pitch walk his first time. A little bit of a tough stretch for Colton. 3 for 29 over his last 11. Does have 6 walks in that span, but also 15 strikeouts. Zola really becomes as a 2-pitch pitcher against lefties, fastball and curveball, but the arm angle is so tough he can succeed with just those 2 pitches. Cowser drills one, but De La Cruz is right there. Boy, that ball was smoked, but right to the red shortstop. From beautiful beaches to charming downtowns and vibrant neighborhoods to world-renowned arts and culture and an exciting sports scene, plan your next vacation to Florida's Suncoast today and visit Sarasota.com. So Lodolo's retired 9 in a row since Colt Cowser's walk. Ramon lined out softly to second. Most strikeouts through 30 games by a left-hander all time. Through the first 30 games of somebody's career. Nick Lodolo, the 2nd most in big league history. That's going back to 1893. The only left-hander with more strikeouts in his first 30 career games was Herb Score. 1955 Cleveland Indians. For the lefty Herb Score, he had 221, Lodolo 209. And he just hit Urias. Bouncing breaking ball, and the Orioles have their first base runner since the 2nd.
Yeah, Lodolo came in in his big league career. 161 innings pitched, 209 strikeouts. And right off the left toe of Urias with that breaking ball.
So Ramon hit for the first time, Lodolo's fourth hit batter. And here is Henderson. By the way, they top 5 on that list. Most strikeouts by a lefty, first 30 games. Score, Lodolo, Cole Hamels, Al Downing, and Shane McClanahan. Pretty good company.
Yeah. No Randy Johnson, huh?
No. No, Randy was
kind of wild in his Expo days. Yeah. He had a lot of walks. Took him a little time to figure it out, but when he figured it out.
Randy's first full year, he only struck out 7.3 per 9. Walked 5.5 per 9.
Which is really a pretty good number in those days. You know, guys just didn't strike out as much.
Then you go to 92, and Randy led the league in strikeouts per 9 4 years in a row. Led the league in strikeouts per 9 times, Randy Johnson.
Yeah, those years with Seattle. And even past that with the Diamondbacks as well.
That's outside of Henderson, ball 3. Left on left, Gunnar Henderson, who is 5th in the major league in baseball reference wins above replacement. Mookie Betts is nearly a win above the rest of the field, which is just stupefying. And by the way, he's doing it playing shortstop this year at second base. Henderson will help his cause with a 2-out walk. So 2 free passes here with 2 out in the 5th and a big chance for Adley.
Yeah, the Orioles looking for a little 2-out magic like they did in the first inning. Pitch count starting to climb. 76 now for Lodolo.
Luke Manley's going to go out there for a chat.
Lodolo struck out 10 in his first start of the season. Struck out 11 in his last start. So 2 games, double-digit strikeouts out of 4 for him.
Well, this is into today. Adley Rutschman had reached base against lefties literally half of his plate appearances. Right-handers he struggled with. Left-handers he has owned. 769 slugging. 4 of the 5 home runs. Remember his first year he only hit 1 home run right-handed in the whole season. That was up in Toronto.
And I remember him telling us at the time too. He said, look, typically I hit better off of left-handers. It was kind of an off year that first year. But not this year.
Rutschman struck out, grounded out today. 2 on, 2 out. That ball ripped, torpedoed down the line. It's a fair ball into the corner. Rutschman's assault on southpaws continues with a run-scoring double to make it 4-zip.
Well, you talk about sitting on a heater and getting one and doing damage right there. Big time. Talk about a beautiful move. Watch he get the hands in tight right here. Right into his body and get the barrel to it. And folks, this one was blistered down the left field line. Henderson couldn't make it. The ball was hit pretty good. Steer got to it quickly and got it in. Henderson ends up at third. Rutschman at second, but pushes home the 4th run of the game for the Orioles. And all the damage has been done with 2 strikes, or 2 outs rather.
Derek Johnson's out for the 2nd mound visit in the last 3 pitches. Bailey came out to visit after the walk to Henderson, and now Johnson after the double by Rutschman. Make it 15 of 16 with a hit for Adley. Well, the comfort level in year 3 continues to grow for Rutschman. Had to learn a new staff as a rookie, learn big league catching, work on his right-handed and left-handed swings. No doubt the left-handed swing is going to turn around, but he has been a laser show from the right side. Mountcastle goes after a changeup. Strike 1 to Ryan, who doubled in that 3-run first. The 4 runs against Lodolo The most he's allowed in a game all year. He'd allowed 5 runs total in his first 4 starts.
Yeah, Rutch is just different. And for me, he's becoming a really good guess hitter. Starting to look for certain pitches in certain zones when he gets it. And that's for me when a hitter changes. When he goes to the plate looking for what he's going to get, not what he wants to hit, but what pitch he's going to get. That's when things change.
I feel like guessing has a negative connotation for a hitter, but there are spots where you think it's okay to guess as a hitter.
Well, when you get counts in your favor, or when you're like Rutschman and you're not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. So you can guess certain pitches. And even when you get yourself in a hole, like he does a lot of times, he's still able to get base hits because he's comfortable hitting in 2-strike counts. Just like Westberg's been comfortable.
First 5 batters in the Oriole lineup have reached base now, all to take part in these run-scoring innings. Down and away with a changeup, 2-2 for Mountie. Lodolo's thrown 23 pitches in the 5th inning, most of any inning today. Getting closer and closer to that Reds bullpen starting to move. 2 on, 2 out. 2-2 is inside. Ryan Mountcastle fouled off an 0-2 pitch, and he's taken 3 straight out of the zone against one of the best pitchers and inducing swings outside the zone in baseball. Here comes a 3-2. Mountcastle rockets it to second, and India is there. Boy, that could have been 2 more easily, but the Orioles will be happy to get 1. Courtesy of Adley Rutschman's double. Lawyer.com. The Orioles have tomorrow off. And tomorrow off. Then they'll head down the Beltway to Washington, D.C. First of 2 at the Nationals. It'll be a special Cities Connected game on Tuesday with both teams wearing their City Connect jerseys. Corbin Burns against Trevor Williams, and then Kyle Bradish and Mitchell Parker on Wednesday before another off day Thursday. Got to rest the body with that tough travel to and from D.C. Excited for those games. Excited to watch. I will be watching from afar. You'll be with Melanie Newman for those games.
Yep.
Eye in the sky at Nats Park. See if the Orioles can keep it going on the road.
They're going to have 2 horses on the bump with Burns and Bradish. Anxious to see Bradish's second start. See if he can be as effective as he was at his first start.
Remember last year, early in the year, Bradish got hurt, came back, threw a gem at Nats Park. The Orioles shut out the Nationals in the 2 games in D.C. last season.
Seemed like, didn't Dean Kramer throw one of those too?
He did.
Was really good.
Brent Suter getting loose for Cincinnati in the 5th. Good fastball by Dean, who has retired all 12 Cincinnati Reds. 2-2 on Jake Fraley, who snapped it 0 for 22 last night.
Yeah, hard to believe he's still hitting .295 on the season. Went 0 for 22 at one point.
Fraley rolls a ground ball over to the right side. Mountcastle tosses to the covering Kramer, and he's got the out. Honor a Birdland Community Hero today. The Orioles Birdland Community Heroes program, presented by BGE, recognizes community heroes who inspire us through their spirit and commitment to extending a hand to those in need through charity, service, and hope. Nominate a hero today at Orioles.com/heroes. Another ground out for Dean. That's 6 of the first 13. Encarnacion Strand takes a cutter over the outside corner.
Boy, just staying out of the heart of the plate. The only time he's been kind of center of the plate is when he's been up out of the strike zone with that 4-seamer. Other than that, he's been hitting some really good spots.
Now, the one pitch the league's really hit well against Dean this year is the 4-seam fastball, and it's mainly been what you just said. When he's left a fastball near the middle, it has been crushed. Encarnacion Strand gets a hanging cutter, and he's the first base runner for the Reds today. So 13 straight retired to start the game for Dean Kramer. On the anniversary of John Means' no-hitter, his bid will end with 1 out in the 5th.
Yeah, and really the first mistake. 0-2 count, trying to get that ball. You see Rutschman well out to the outside part of the plate, and he just left this one right in the heart, and that's what happens to those pitches.
Encarnacion Strand with his second hit of the series. We'll see if Dean can get 2, as he did 3 times against the Yankees. Jonathan India. There's a question as to whether or not the Reds would trade India in the offseason. They had such a glut of infielders, but they lost Matt McLean to injury at the start of the year. He's not yet returned. Going to be reevaluated soon for a shoulder injury.
Good thing they held on to him, too. Been DH'd a lot, playing a little bit of second base. Former Rookie of the Year a few years back. There's a good sinker right at the bottom of the zone. See the difference in the fastball? So we've seen the fastball anywhere from 90 with the 2-seamer up to 95 with the 4-seamer. That's what Dean Kramer does best. He can add and subtract. Not only on the fastball, he can add and subtract on those breaking balls as well.
Now, the Reds signed Jeimer Candelario. They had Santiago Espinal. They keep India around. And they've needed to reach into the reserves because of McLean's labrum issue, and then Noelvi Marte's 80-game suspension for performance-enhancing drugs. He was going to be their primary third baseman and a Rookie of the Year candidate. Great year last year in his short time of the bigs. But instead, it's been a lot of Espinal, who's 176 with a 479 OPS. Candelario's got a 190 average, a 634 OPS. And he has reached base a lot, not hitting for power at all, but he is getting on base. 3-2 count. Encarnacion Strand will run, and now he will walk, as will India. First 2 base runners of the game come back to back here in the Cincinnati 5th.
Yeah, the first walk of the series for a starting pitcher for the Orioles.
Drew French is going to insert himself into the middle of this conversation. We heard from Drew French before the game today, and that interview played on the pregame show. It was extra with Rob Long. One of the things we heard from Drew today, good news on Grayson Rodriguez. Grayson began a throwing program today. Drew said he had a really good day. Grayson threw on flat ground from about 60 to 75 feet. So good news for Grayson, and they're hoping he'll be back in the rotation in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it didn't sound like anything serious. Fighting through a little bit of a soreness his last couple of starts, although he was really good against the Yankees. But just trying to stay ahead of things, you know, and I think they're hoping to pencil him in maybe around that Seattle series.
And when Grayson returns to the rotation, whoever's spot he'll take, your guess is good as mine, because there doesn't seem to be any easy openings right now with Kramer and Irvin throwing the way they're throwing. Cole's got a 2.86 ERA. Dean's right now 3.72 at the moment. John Means dynamite. And then Burns and Bradish. A lot of really tantalizing options right now for the Oriole rotation. 2-0 for Nick Martini.
Boy, this Oriole rotation has been doing it too. No matter who they plugged in. Now sitting at 6th in Major League Baseball ERA for starters.
Fly ball to center field for Martini. McKenna was playing Martini straight up, and he's right over there to make the catch. Both runners tag. Encarnacion stranded third. India goes to second on out number 2.
Yeah, pretty good read by Jonathan India over at first base. Goes back and tags up. He takes an extra 90. So second and third, and 2 out for the Reds here in the bottom of the 5th.
I think Kramer's tied for the most home runs allowed in the American League. That's maybe the closest the Reds have come. But only warning track power for Martini.
Yeah, Dean gave up 27 homers last year. About 172 innings of work. A lot in the first half. Second half of the season, he was much, much better. Dean won a career high 13 games last year. Matter of fact, set career highs in pretty much everything. Innings pitched, strikeouts, starts, wins.
Espinal pops it up. First base side. Mountcastle's there. Dean gets out of it. 2 on with 1 out. Kramer blemished, but not in the run column.
All 4 runs were earned on those 4 hits. Walked 2, struck out 6. Most runs he's given up in the start so far this year. Orioles got 3 on him in the first, capped off by Jordan Westberg's 2-run homer. And an RBI double for the 4th run by Adley Rutschman there in the 5th inning. And now time for Brent Suter, making his 13th appearance of the year. He's been solid. 19 2/3, struck out 17. Opponents hitting .240 off the left-hander, Suter.
So second time the Orioles have seen Lodolo, Ben. Dominant for 3 of the 5 innings in the game. But against Lodolo, you're probably not going to put together consistent at-bats the whole game. So to get 3 in the first, to rally in the 5th, has to feel like a win.
Yeah, and all the runs scored with 2 out, too. And that's impressive for the Orioles. And they took advantage of a few mistakes. And when Lodolo made a mistake, the Orioles found the barrel.
So the Orioles have seen 8 different relievers now used in this series. Everybody except the Reds closer has pitched. Alexis Diaz, who's on 5 days rest because the Reds have lost 4 in a row. And Suter falls behind Santander with 3 straight balls. Now the 14 1/3 scoreless inning streak snapped 2 games ago at Texas. That's outside. Anthony works a 4-pitch walk. Orioles' 3rd walk of the game. Share the magic of Orioles baseball, those fans, and start planning your next group outing. Clients to colleagues, sports teams, schools, family, and friends. Orioles group tickets offer a wide variety of seating and pricing options to fit any group need. Visit Orioles.com/groups for more information. That's one way to shade your head from the sun. If you forgot a hat.
Or forgot your sunscreen.
Or that. Don't forget your sunscreen.
As red as his face is, I'm saying he forgot his sunscreen.
It's not a rally towel. It is such a funky delivery by Brent Suter.
Yeah, I mean, the fastball is only going to be 86. Throw that 2 and a 4-seam fastball. Then he's got a slider and a changeup as well.
Westberg, foul. Brent Suter, Cincinnati native, pitching for his hometown team. Take a look at how he throws this ball.
That doesn't even look comfortable.
He didn't look comfortable at the end of it.
Slider probably the best pitch for Suter. Opponent's hitting 188 off the slider. Changeup not bad either.
Graduated from Moeller High School in town here 16 years ago. Westberg just got a piece, and Brent Suter with Milwaukee for the first 7 years of his big league career. Colorado a season ago. He finally comes home. Same high school as his manager, David Bell. Both
Yep.
Moeller High School grads, both Cincinnatans.
31st round pick back in 2012.
Westberg in the air. Left fielder Steer set a quiet series, makes the play. Well, there are not a lot of high draft picks from Harvard, and that's where Brent Suter was drafted from. Ivy League graduate with an environmental science and public policy degree, and he, like most Ivy League graduates with an environmental science and public policy career, decided to pursue Major League Baseball.
Makes sense to me.
Up and away to Mateo. Brent Suter, according to the Baseball Almanac, one of 19 players to make the major leagues from Harvard. Most of those were between the 1870s and the 1940s. Sean Poppin was the latest to do it, 2019, as Suter tries to get Santander again at first. Reds are going to look to see if this is a challenge here. And David Bell says yes. The Reds are going to challenge.
Oh, wow.
See if they picked off Santander. Did not have a big lead, but Suter made a good throw.
Cincinnati's challenging a safe call at first base.
Rarely do you see a runner going standing and get picked off.
Yeah, not a big lead at all either. Pretty much a one-way lead, but that was close.
The reaction from the crowd is that of a crowd that's anticipating they're going to see an out, but is unsure about whether they should commit fully to the cheer of an out.
After review, call on the field is overturned. Runners out. Cincinnati retains their challenge.
It was hard to tell from how quickly those angles were, but apparently very easy to tell. Back at the replay operations center, Anthony is the second Oriole to be picked off today. Well, there's that Harvard education. That's an Ivy League pickoff for the second out of the inning from Suter. That's the edge to Mateo, 2-2. Two strikeouts for Jorge today. You ever called an Ivy League college baseball game?
No. Oh, I take that back. I take that back. I think Princeton came down to LSU some years ago, early in the year, like in February.
That makes sense. LSU is, I believe, known as the Princeton of the Bayou.
It is. The Princeton of the SEC.
Right.
You're right.
We're definitely not Vanderbilt.
Where people go to get an education. That's right.
4 down the nose at a beautiful Sunday in Cincinnati. As talent group, we use the word talent loosely for some of us. For some others, it is true. To sign up today, go to your Birdland members account on the MLB Ballpark app or by visiting Orioles.com/rewards. We love doing these events and getting to meet Birdland members and Oriole fans. And we hope you can join us May 31st. May 31st, that is a Friday. The Orioles will play Tampa Bay, start a 3-game series that weekend. So come see the Orioles and the Rays. Had that great battle in the American League East last year, and come hang out with us. Deke Kramer has been just brilliant today. The whole Oriole pitching staff has been brilliant. The Reds offense has not been brilliant. They've scored in one of their last 32 innings here at this bandbox. That was the 9th inning yesterday. Other than that, the Orioles have put up 22 zeros in 23 innings in the series. The Reds are 9 for 76, 3 walks, as Dean goes 1-1 on Luke Maile.
Yeah, you would think with the shadows starting to creep in around home plate, may even get more difficult for the hitters.
High and tight for Maile for ball 2.
Well, double barrel action. Suarez, the right-hander. Keegan Aiken, the left-hander for the Orioles.
If that seems early to be getting the bullpen ready, there are a couple of reasons for it. One is that the Orioles have an off day tomorrow. The other is that Dean Kramer really gets hit hard the third time through. 345 total. Fastballs the third time through. 615 against. Maile fouls off the 3-2. And this is the last time Kramer will face a batter the second time through the order.
And if I remember correctly, he was one of the better starters last year, third time through. But not so much, but just a sample size so far. Only 6 starts. 7th pitch of the at bat coming here. Wow.
And it's the last one. He burns Maile, and the high heater has been getting one strikeout after another today.
Boy, I love how he's staying down with the 2-seamer and the off-speed stuff. And when he wants to, he just reaches back and grabs that 4-seamer and goes right to the top of the zone yet again.
Here's Benson. So third time through the order, batters have teed off on the Kramer fastball. What does he do? He throws a fastball in the perfect place.
Yeah. The location is what the key of it is. And he struck out Benson the last time on that pitch, an elevated fastball.
Will Benson hitless in the series in 5 at-bats, tied for 3rd in the National League in strikeouts. Struck out 3 of his 5 trips in this series. Benson just gets a piece of a splitter, falls behind in the count. Strange to say that Brandon Hyde would like to get some relievers some work, how much they threw earlier in the year, but with off days coming up, he probably would want to get Suarez and Aiken into the game. Suarez is on 6 days rest. Aiken and Jacob Webb are on 2. Mike Bauman's on 3. But he's going to keep riding Dean Kramer for now. 86 pitches in. 2-2 for Benson. High fastball again, pushed a little bit wide.
That's a good problem to have. Your relievers on that many days rest. That means your starters are giving you some really good length, and the starters have done that for the Orioles this year. They have been really good.
Up and away. Benson goes down on another high fastball. Back-to-back Ks for Kramer.
Yeah, he may be approaching 90 pitches, but he's still got plenty left in the tank. This is 95, just above the top of the zone with some life to it, too. Dean Kramer's got an old school approach to pitching, changing speeds on his fastball, sinkers down, 4-seamers up. And you can tell he is just emptying the tank, and he's going to give everything he's got to get through the 6th inning here.
De La Cruz takes one up and away. Elliott struck out swinging, lined out to left. Right in there for strike 1. 6 1/3 scoreless for Cole Irvin on Friday night. 7 scoreless for John Means Saturday night. Strike 2 with a front hip splitter.
I don't know if that's where he was trying to throw it, but it certainly worked out. Yeah, Rutschman rocking to the outside part. This ball just painted right on the inside part. If he elevates another fastball here, maybe just above the top of the zone. Oh.
Last 6 games, the Oriole pitching 54 innings, 7 runs, a 1.17 ERA. And 6 more scoreless today. Kramer makes it 3 straight Orioles starters to go 6+ scoreless.
Do it, Dino. How about this little two-seamer? Starts inside, catches the inside part of the plate. Orioles are off the field with a 4-0 lead.
Oh, yeah.
TV65. The Yankees beat the Tigers, the Rays over the Mets, and the Red Sox over the Twins. Coming up after the game, if good pitching is contagious, Dean Kramer has caught the bug. The O's score all 4 of their runs with 2 outs. And we'll hear from Brandon Hahn up next. Give the call, Kevin.
Well, there's the first run that's not with 2 outs, Rob. A leadoff shot. Ryan McKenna on the first pitch of the 7th goes yard, and it's 5-0 Orioles.
Come on, Mac. Mac wants to get in that long ball action. 353 it went. 96 miles an hour, and it just crept over, but it counts as a long ball. Orioles a little insurance here in the 7th, up 5-0 now. McKenna's 2nd long ball of the year, his 2nd RBI.
A Cincy special for Big Mac. And he'll hit the hydration station with home run number 53 for the Orioles this year. Wow. Colton Cowser first pitch into left field. Steer trying to find it in the sun, and he will late after this from Ryan McKenna.
Yeah, he wasted no time. First pitch he sees, watch this. Trying to come inside. That ball gets inside, but gets inside right to the barrel of McKenna.
I asked Ryan yesterday, do you change your approach at a park like this, knowing that it's a lot more gettable in left? He said not really, because you want to just do what you do. You want to stick to your approach. You want to believe that your work and your swing is going to work out, whether a park's shorter or longer or not. Basically, if you mess with what you're doing, you try to elevate the ball more, you probably get under it. Well, this is the right ballpark to do what he just did. Would have been a home run in 6 at 30 parks, including this one. There's a short left field at Great American Ballpark. 2-1 for Ramon. And so McKenna and Mateo each with a couple of home runs in the week. Urias racks one toward the left field corner, and that will get down. Ramon snaps out of an 0 for 8. He'll find his way to second with the Orioles' 2nd extra base hit of the inning.
Yeah, bottom part of the lineup getting it done. McKenna in that 7 hole with a homer. Ramon sitting in the 9 hole with a double for him. You knew it was just a matter of time for this offense got rolling. Another ball to the inside part of the plate, and another really good swing by an Oriole hitter.
Still nobody up in the Cincinnati bullpen, even though Suter has given up a homer, a double, and a line out here. Gunnar Henderson 0 for 2 of the walk. Henderson nearly gets clipped. That is the fastball from Brent Suter. It doesn't get too much harder than that. The arm angle, the release can deceive hitters. They haven't in this inning. Cincinnati's most innings pitched out of the bullpen with 21 in relief. Been a very good Reds bullpen. At home, they've been excellent. 3.01 ERA at home, 2nd best in the National League. Suter misses a little bit up for ball 3.
Boy, careful here.
What a difference a year makes for Gunnar Henderson. Really struggled against lefties the first 2 years. He's broken out this season. 3 home runs and 59 plate appearances against lefties into this game. 3 home runs in 193 last year. Has been able to stay on the breaking ball much better overall. Knocks this sinker out of play. He is striking out more against lefties than he did in the past. That's the one strange part of it, but the contact is way harder. And he seems more comfortable getting off his ace swing.
Well, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, it's about staying on it. You talk to any left-handed hitter, and they'll tell you the key to hitting left-handed pitching is staying through the ball, staying towards the pitcher, not pulling off. Because most left-handed pitchers are going to try to get you out, left-handed hitters, on the outside part of the plate. And if you're pulling off a little bit, you're going to run out of bat.
We've talked to him about this before. He's really never seemed that phased. He just always had this quiet confidence. He was going to figure out lefties once he started to see them. Now he's seeing a lot of them. Oh, that one tied him up, knocked him down. That's a swing. Scudder hits the sand.
Up and in. Wasn't expecting it there, and it wasn't supposed to be there. You can see the catcher, Maley. Maley set up off the outside part of the plate. This ball well up and in, and Gunnar just couldn't check his swing. See where Maley is? Maley's expecting the ball on the outside part. It's well up and in.
And effectively wild strikeout for Suter. So now Adley gets a 4th at bat against a lefty. Reds have a ton of right-handed options in the bullpen. Maybe they figured if they go to a righty here, Brandon Hyde brings in a pinch hitter for McKenna. They leave in Suter. He gives up the home run to Mack, who hits lefties much better. Rutschman trying to get at least one more in. He'll take ball 2.
Albert Suarez still playing catch. He says, I'm good. I'm ready if they need me.
Dean Kramer could probably throw more, but in part Brandon Hyde is interested in seeing what Albert Suarez's stuff looks like out of the bullpen.
Yeah, I think we're all
time to find out. 2-2 Rutschman. Gets a piece, flares it over De La Cruz, which is basically like hitting a ball over a skyscraper. And Ramon scores on the RBI single. That is bat control at its finest. And this is a 6-0 game.
It's crazy for a guy to have this kind of bat control. Look how fooled he is. He's fooled. The body's out in front, but he keeps the hands back just enough and just throws the barrel at it. Ramon with 2 out, motoring around. Boy, Adley Rutschman, how about this series? 3 for 4 yesterday with a homer. Now 2 for 4 with a couple of RBIs today. The Orioles tack on another one.
He's got more hits this week than Kendrick Lamar. 5 hits.
I know there's a joke
2.
in that somewhere.
That's all right. That went over your head just like it did.
And Rob's just shaking his head. I think it might have went over Rob's head too.
Derek Johnson's out. Cincinnati's going to finally get the bullpen going. Sam Maul, who we saw in the 9th inning yesterday. And Suter had not allowed a run at home in the last 6 games, all 6 of his games this season. And that streak comes to a close in the 7th. 2 more RBIs for Rutschman, 4 in the series. You said it off the top. It's been a great series, but we're waiting for the bats to break out. Now the bats are starting to break out.
Well, you know, the Orioles have been in these stretches before. You remember the first 2 games of the year, they scored 24 runs, and then they went the next 7 games only scoring 23 runs, but then broke out, and it's been a long, good stretch. But here recently, runs have been hard to come by, and you're going to have that. The good news is the Orioles have been really hitting on all cylinders as far as pitching goes, and that's when your offense begins to struggle a little bit. That's when you hope your pitching can really grab a different gear and go to a different level, and the Orioles have done that, and that's why they've won 5 of their last 6, the Orioles have, and all of the offense is only averaging 3 runs a game.
Mountcastle skies one in the right. Fraley's there. Big inning for the Orioles, started by a big swing from Ryan McKenna.
Yeah, the old Mac attack gets its second long ball of the year. Then you get an RBI single by Rutschman. Birds up 6-0 as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Well, the day is complete. Kramer and another outstanding effort by Dino. 6 innings, 1 hit. He retired the first 13 batters that he saw. Boy, he stepped on a couple of fastballs in the upper part of the strike zone, reached up to 95 miles an hour. There's a good one right there. Used his split finger fastball. Used that cutter. That was a front door two-seamer right there. So an outstanding effort. How about the starting pitchers in this series for the Orioles? Irvin, Means, and now Dean Kramer. 19 innings of shutout baseball, up to Albert Suarez now making his first relief appearance as an Oriole. His 4th overall appearance. ERA outstanding, 15 1/3. I love the strikeout to walk ratio. He is typically a strike thrower, and opponents hitting .241 off the big right-hander, Suarez.
So Albert Suarez comes in a 6-0 game, and just when you think the Orioles starters can't get any better, surprise, surprise. Just the 2 base runners in the 5th inning for Dean Kramer. What impressed you the most about his start?
I think just using all of his pitches, and for the most part, he stayed out of the middle of the part of the plate. I loved when he elevated the fastball on purpose. Pitched down a lot, but when he needed to come up in his zone, he was able to do that. I thought he threw some good splits. The cutter was outstanding again today, like it was his last start. So it was a complete effort. I don't think he threw many curveballs. I saw him dump 1 or 2 curveballs in there, so it was pretty much fastball, splitter, and that cutter of his. But just moved it around and changed speeds.
Look, the Reds are in a rut, but good pitching is going to get you deeper into that rut. So a little of this, little of that, and no doubt the Oriole pitchers have hit their spots, and the Oriole pitchers have delivered one of the best pitch series we've seen in a long time. Brendan Hyde just said on Thursday, for me, maybe the best pitch series we've had, the 4-gamer against the Yankees. I know the Reds lineup isn't the Yankees, but I think this would be right at the top as well. Suarez to Spencer Steer with a cutter in the dirt.
Yeah, I don't remember the Oriole starters being this good for as long as they've been in recent years. I mean, this is big-time stuff.
Steer ground out to the catcher, fly out to right. Suarez misses high. So Brandon Hyde wants to see what Albert Suarez looks like out of the bullpen. 6-0 game. This could well be a multi-inning stint. Doesn't look like Suarez has let the fastball truly rip so far, because we've seen him hit 96, 97. Maybe prepared for a couple of innings. Steer guides a ground ball to Mateo. The backhanded short, and a strong throw to first. Well, 6 innings or more, nothing against Irvin, Means, and Kramer in the series. That's 19 1/3, 6 hits, 1 walk, 18 strikeouts. Not a run against him.
And not a run. How about that? Can't get much better than that.
By the way, those are probably the 3, 4, 5 in the rotation, with Burns and Bradish being the 1-2. And they still didn't allow a run. That ball is foul off the bat of Fraley. Pretty amazing stuff. It really has been.
Yeah. And look, the bullpen has almost been equally as good. Go back to the last 6 games, the bullpen 17 1/3, only 8 hits. 2 runs they've allowed with 18 strikeouts.
Albert Suarez's first big league relief appearance since 2017. Of course, it was his first big league appearance period when he started since 2017. Jake Fraley to Mateo on a soft line drive. Suit up this season at MLBshop.com. The largest selection of official jerseys, caps, t-shirts, collectibles, and more. Gear up with your Orioles at MLBshop.com. Christian Encarnacion Strand has all of the Reds hit in the game. Fifth inning single off a hanging cutter. Friday, De La Cruz had both of the hits. Yesterday, the Reds had 6. Today, they have 1. And you know what? He hit a cutter. Suarez is going to say, I'm still going to throw my cutter.
So much of this game is catching teams at the right time. You know, a cold team every now and then, a team struggling pitching from time to time. That's so much of this game.
Left field, Kowser's there. Albert Suarez with a 1-2-3 7th in his season debut in the pen. Real fast. To the 8th we go. Kevin Brown, Ben McDonald, Rob Long, our outstanding mass crew on the banks of the Ohio. Here in the Natty, one of the cities known as the Queen City. You got Charlotte, which calls itself the Queen City. Cincinnati calls itself the Queen City as well, right across the line from Kentucky. And the new Reds pitcher is Sam Maul.
Yeah, Suter goes 2 innings, gives up 3 hits and 2 runs. Now up to Sam Maul, making his 5th appearance of the season. Nothing yet. Matter of fact, he's got a scoreless streak going back to last year. 4 punch-outs, only 1 walk.
Anthony Santander. Sam Maul amazingly has the longest scoreless streak among pitchers on an active roster in the majors. 23 innings. Brusdar Graterol of the Dodgers has a 25-inning streak. He's on the 60-day injury list. Maul was acquired from the A's at the deadline last year and had a .73 with the Reds in 25 games, and yet he's pitching down 6-0.
Yeah, just a 2-pitch mix for him. Well, 2 and a 4-seam fastball and a little bit of a slider to go with it. His expected batting average on his 4-seam fastball this year, .037.
Former Memphis Tiger.
Yeah, Maul now 32 years old, drafted in 2013. 3rd round by the Rockies.
Maybe this is to get him some work. Otherwise, why would somebody who's that hot be pitching down 6-0? Only his 5th game of the year. Missed first few weeks with left shoulder impingement.
Yeah. Did pitch last night, though.
Yeah.
1 scoreless inning.
I don't know. Day off tomorrow, but a little unusual. Up the middle, Santander. De La Cruz all out. Throw to first. Oh, wow. That was nearly insane from Ellie De La Cruz. But it's a hit for Anthony, who's on for a 2nd time.
Yeah, 2 base hits for Santander, including a walk. Well, De La Cruz, you don't even see him in your picture right there. He's kind of shaded to the pull side, and not many guys going to get to this ball right here. And probably the biggest arm by a shortstop of anybody in baseball. Just a cannon of an arm. That 6'5" frame lays out, comes to his feet, but not in time. Santander, 2 base hits on the day.
And as you noted, on base for a 3rd time make it for Anthony today. That was an 86.5 mile-an-hour throw after a dive. We wanted to see Ellie do something special. We said last night he can hit a home run down 9-0 or something. This will work too. Bouncing ball. This is a second baseman, India, who gets only 1. The Reds fans are booing as if Westbrook wasn't clearly safe at first. So fielder's choice 4 unassisted. Jordan 1 for 4 with that 2-run homer in the first. One on, one out. Mateo. The first road run scored in the first inning by the Orioles this season. Their 15th game on the road. They got 3. 1 in the 5th against Nick Lodolo, then 2 in the 7th against Brent Suter. 2 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned, walked 1, struck out 2. Brandon Hyde 6 outs away from a very happy flight home.
Yeah, Orioles trying to pick up their 3rd sweep of the year. Been a complete effort, though. It's been up and down the lineup. Everybody in this lineup has reached 8 out of 9. Mateo, the guy standing at the plate, is the only guy that hasn't reached yet.
He's been reaching every game of late, 10 straight.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. 3rd pickoff of the game coming. You know, Shaquille O'Neal has said, if I was a good free throw shooter, it'd be unfair because I'd be dominant at everything. The Orioles base running today has been Shaq's free throw shooting. They're pitching, they're hitting, they're defending.
They have guessed wrong a couple times right here. Going on first movement again, and Westbrook knew he was done quickly there.
Well, this is going to knock down that league best stolen base percentage. That'll be a pickoff caught stealing. And then a pop-up. So Sam Ball's scoreless inning streak continues thanks to another pickoff. Everything else been great, though. 6-0. That's been the most exciting part of the game for Reds fans. The mascots riding around on little horses, because it has been nothing but O's through the first 7.5. 1 hit, 1 walk for Cincinnati, 6 runs for the Orioles, 8 hits, 3 walks, and a 6-0 lead with Albert Suarez on for a 2nd inning of relief. 3 straight scoreless starts for the Orioles in the series from Irvin, Means, and Kramer. How about this? The last time the Orioles had 3 straight starts of 6 innings or more scoreless in the same series, you had one of them, Ben.
Uh-oh, that's going back a few years.
Yes. I had one of them, too. At least my namesake.
Kevin Brown?
1995, the Orioles and the Tigers. The last series of the season, you went 6 scoreless in between shutouts from Kevin Brown and Mike Messina.
That's been a minute or two.
It's the last time it's happened in the same series. 3 straight 6-inning scoreless starts. Pretty good end of the year for you guys in 95, I guess. Nick Martini pops it up behind the plate. Rutschman does not have a play. Was that your last start as an Oriole then? September 30, 95?
Had to be, yeah. That's it. Yeah, last one.
Do you remember that game?
No, I don't remember the game. I remember being on the injured list and coming back right towards the end.
Center field, McKenna's right there. And Martini is chilled again. He's 0 for 3. And there are 2 down to the 8th. Catch Orioles baseball anytime, anywhere on the MASN app. Live games, expert analysis, and player stats all in the palm of your hand. Don't miss a pitch. Go to MASNsports.com and download yours today. A lot of orange around downtown Cincinnati this weekend. Ground ball to short, Mateo. So what's Albert Suarez going to look like as a reliever?
Pretty good so far.
Pretty much what he looked like as a starter. Reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Nice gloppy hot dog.
What is that? Is that
That's
cheese?
That's got to be a chili cheese dog, right?
I'll have a hot dog with some of my cheese, huh? Alexis Diaz, the closer for the Reds, making his 13th appearance. Does have 6 saves and 7 tries. 12 innings of work, 13 strikeouts. Opponent hitting .209 off the Reds closer, Diaz. 2-pitch mix for him. Fastball, slider. Four-seamer is going to average about 94. Opponent's hitting 211 off of that. Then you got the slider. Opponent's hitting 208 off of that slider.
He is nasty, Diaz, and this is the right time to see him. He's on 5 days rest, and Cincinnati is an off day tomorrow. So David Bell just wants to get him some work. Ryan McKenna not enjoying that. 0-2 for McKenna, who cracked his second home run of the year and his last at bat. Had 11 hits in Norfolk, 5 went for extra bases. And now 2 home runs out of his 6 hits in the big leagues.
This is what Ryan McKenna did to lead off the 7th inning. The very first pitch he saw, hunting a fastball, and he got one around the inside part of the plate, and it just snuck over the wall. His second long ball of the year, second RBI. Orioles have hit 2 homers today. One by Westberg, a 2-run shot in the first. And that one by McKenna in the 7th.
Uncommon start to the year for Ryan, who was told he wasn't going to make the club right before the start of the year and ended up being designated for assignment. And he said he went home to Houston and just did nothing. He said, I'd gone through a full spring, thought he was ready to go, so I really just relaxed for a few days, spent time with my family. And his time has come as he works back from 0-2 to draw the Orioles' 4th walk.
Well, that's exactly what he said when he was down at AAA. They interviewed him before he even got the phone call to come up and said, you know what? I'm going to play a part in this. I'm going to continue to work hard. I'm going to continue to do the things that got me to the big leagues the last couple of years. And at some point in time, my number will be called. And sure enough, it has.
Cowser 0 for 2 with a walk. Cowser smacks one the other way up the alley in left center field. That's an extra base hit. McKenna's going to be waved around from third. De La Cruz will stick the ball in his pocket. It's an RBI double for Colton Cowser, whose hard contact of late is finally rewarded with some green grass.
Well, you knew the milkman had to get on the action a little bit. 8th double of the year, and this is where he got started, the backside of the field. Remember that Boston Red Sox series where he just peppered the ball to the backside, and that's a beautiful swing. 104 off the bat. RBI double by Cowser. Orioles now up 7-0.
Hey, he's hit it hard 3 times today. And there's a ball that's not hit hard, but is hit well. Softly placed into right. Ramon Urias gets back on the horse. Hit by a pitch and a couple of hits his last 3 times up. So Alexis Diaz is a dominant closer, but down 6-0. Maybe not the same typical adrenaline rush for the Reds All-Star from a year ago.
How many times have we seen this? These closers, big-time closers, come in these type of situations, and it's just different sometimes.
So every Oriole but Mateo's reached base. Henderson a walk at the 5th. Trying to get on for a second time. He takes a strike. There is nobody warming in the Oriole bullpen, so it looks like Albert Suarez will get the chance to close it out. If Albert Suarez closes it out, the Orioles are going to have 7 relievers on multiple days of rest for the series opener Tuesday with the Nats. And then, of course, they have an off day Thursday, so the bullpen could be in great shape going into the weekend series with Arizona. Henderson 3 for 10 in the series. Does have 3 walks. 1-2. Diaz is now closing games in the same league as his brother Edwin Diaz, who's back after a season-ending injury with the Mets. 2 brothers, 2 All-Stars, 2 dominant closers. There's a slider taken low, 3-2. "37 saves a year ago, 86 strikeouts, 67 1/3. 3-2. Henderson fights it off into the Cincinnati dugout. A slider way inside. The Orioles have scored in 4 innings in this game, and against some pitchers with crazy arm angles, nasty stuff. Man, nobody's been an easy at bat. Even Suter, who throws softer, is tough to pick up. Sam Maul, the scoreless streak, and then Lodolo at the start. And Henderson has his second walk. First 4 in the inning have reached against Alexis Diaz. Here comes Derek Johnson. Wanted to get Diaz some work, but this may leave a sour taste in his mouth more than anything.
Yeah, he got some work, but the wrong kind of work so far.
Well, back to 1 week ago today, when Craig Kimbrell suffered his second blown save in 3 days in the ninth. The Orioles lost to Oakland. Since then, the Orioles have gone 5-1, looking like they're going to go 6-1. Also since then, Oakland's turned into the best team in baseball. Now they're losing to Miami 8-2 today.
What did they put up, like 20 last night?
The A's have won 6 in a row, starting with that game Sunday. That's going to end, it looks like, today. But they won 20-3. So it's not always as good as it seems in baseball. It's often not as bad as it seems in baseball. And the Orioles just turned the page. That's what they've done the last couple of years. I think of everything else, that's what's impressed me the most. Their capacity to turn the page after a rough day, after a rough series, and obviously we've talked about it time and time again. Haven't been swept in the regular season and now almost 2 full years.
Yeah. I mean, just look at their record after a loss. You know, the record after a loss is really good. And that's what it takes in baseball, because you play so many games. You got to be able to forget the night before. Whether it was good or bad, you forget it.
Diaz figured it out in time. He gets Rutschman on a slider, and that's going to end his outing.
That thing just disappeared down and in.
Well, he got some work, but now the Reds don't want him to get too much work. Emilio Pagan coming on.
Thirteen innings of work, good strikeout to walk ratio, 3-1. Opponents hitting .309 off the right-hander, Pagan.
Alexis Diaz, third of an inning, 2 hits, 2 walks, a strikeout, and 3 runners currently on base that are his responsibility. We saw Pagan Friday. He took the loss, 2/3 of an inning, 4 hits, 3 earned. Ryan Mountcastle had a double in there. And Mounty takes one low. All Orioles from the start today. 3 in the first, 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 7th, and 1 here in the 9th. McKenna with a walk, Kowser an RBI double, Urias a hit, Henderson a walk, Rutschman struck out. Orioles with a win will have their third sweep of the year, second road sweep at Boston, home against Minnesota. They've already improved to 8-3 in series, winning 8 of their first 11.
Yeah, the Orioles came in, what, 22-11, and if I saw right, that ties the second best start by any team in Oriole history.
You did see right. Yeah, there are a bunch of Orioles teams that have got 22-11. The only team with a better start in Orioles history, the 1970 O's, who beat the Cincinnati Reds in the World Series.
Yeah. Beat them in 5 games, too.
Mountcastle doubled in the first inning. That started the 3-run rally against Nick Lodolo. And he strikes out here on a foul tip.
Yeah, Pagan's got a good fastball, especially when he gets it up there. And you can see Maley, the catcher, he wanted that fastball elevated exactly where it was at 96. Takes care of Mountcastle.
Nice little bounce back game for Anthony at the plate. Came in on a 5 for 39 with 5 walks, 2 for 3 with a walk and an RBI today. First left-handed at-bat of the game. That ball drilled to right field by Santander. Well struck and a grand slam. Anthony Santander with a grand closing on what will soon be a glorious series sweep in Cincinnati.
Boy, you talk about finding the barrel on one. That'll bring a smile to your face, too. Santander's 5th long ball of the year. His 23rd RBI of the year. And folks, this was a missile. You talk about get out in a hurry. It's what you call a little icing on the cake here in the 9th inning. Boy, and Santander needed a day like this. It's been a little bit of a struggle for him lately, but a 3 for 4 day. 5 RBIs. Boy, watch this swing, huh? Just a heater, outer third. He circled it. And you talk about getting one out of here in a hurry. Orioles continue to hit the long ball. 3rd one of the day.
Hey, that means Brian Lindsay, our Maryland Lottery Fast Play contestant, has just won $5,000 for an Oriole Grand Slam.
That's a pretty good day.
Yes. Anthony with his 3rd career slam. And it is 11-0, a runaway, a rout, a regular laugher here at the home of the Reds.
Well, we said it was just a matter of time for this offense got going again. And it certainly got going today, and it got going early.
Westberg pokes one the other way. India sliding play. Wow. And got him at first.
Big time play there by India, and a nice finish on the back end by Strand. But Anthony Santander, a little icing for you folks. I'm talking about a bomb out toward right center field. It is all Orioles up 11-0.
If you pitch the last 3 innings, it'll win. You get the save. The last 4 Orioles saves have come from 4 different pitchers. This could be 5 in a row. Coulomb, Webb against the Yankees, Kimbrel and Cano against the Reds. The last time the Orioles had 4 consecutive saves from 4 different pitchers, Stevie Wilkerson had the first in the 16-inning Anaheim Marathon. Michael Gibbons, Sean Armstrong, and Paul Fry. It's only happened 4 times since 2000. And this could be 5 in a row in the same week, by the way. Suarez dumps in a strike to Luke Maile. Could be 5 different saves from 5 different pitchers in 6 days. Five-run ninth gives Suarez a little extra cushion as Maile knocks a little floating breaking ball out of play. Orioles with 11 hits. Santander's got 3. He's driven in 5 of the runs with his 9th inning grand slam. He had 2 last year. Hit one of the chop house in Atlanta off of Joe Jimenez. May 5th last year, 1 year to the day of his first career grand slam. He hits his 3rd. And oh, by the way, the Orioles have allowed 1 hit, so they're +10 in the hit column. Maile to the screen and foul. There goes the BB Riverboats Belle of Cincinnati. Probably, if you're a Reds fan, this is a nice way to spend the afternoon. Little riverboat ride slowly down the Ohio. Where do you stand on riverboats?
What do you mean? Do I like them? Or?
Yeah.
Have you been on one before? If you cruise down?
I don't think I ever have.
It's fine. It's a little different. Get a good view up on top.
Strike 3. Suarez down in the dirt to get Maile for the 7th Oriole strikeout. Uh-oh, we might not get a save opportunity here. Here comes Brandon jogging out of the dugout. Oh, no save try for Suarez.
Really good changeup, just kind of bottoms out. First strikeout of the day. So Suarez goes 2 1/3, retires 7. All 7 he faced.
Mike Babbitt will get some work here. There will be no save, but hopefully still a shutout.
Allow a run. Suarez 7 outs. He was perfect in his 7 batters he faced. And now up to big Mike Baumann making his 14th appearance. 12 2/3 innings worked. 14 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .269 off the big right-hander Baumann.
Baumann on 3 days rest on to get some work. Benson and De La Cruz to face him. So 1 hit. That was Christian Encarnacion Strand, 5th inning single. 1 walk. Jonathan India followed him. That's it. At the moment, the Reds have 2 base runners, which would be the 2nd time in the series they'd have 2 base runners in a game. Friday night they had 2 hits from De La Cruz, nothing more. Last night they had 8 base runners, 6 hits, 2 walks, and only scored 1. So it's been a breathtaking display by the Orioles starters and by the Oriole relievers. 26 1/3 innings and 1 single solitary run. And yes, the Reds were struggling coming in, but they were also the 8th highest scoring team in baseball coming into the series. Can't do that in an 11-0 game, though. That's ball 4, and the Reds' 3rd base runner. One of the things the Orioles have done well, not allow steals. And one of the other things they've done well, not allow hits. Last one hitter, John Means, started it September 23rd last year at Cleveland. He went 6 2/3 no hit in his third start back for an Andres Jimenez homer. Ball 1 to De La Cruz. Baumann has missed on 5 of his first 6 pitches. How about this for the Reds? 57 steals on the year. They've only stolen 2 in the series.
Well, it's hard to steal bases when you can't get on. And the Orioles have done a pretty good job of keeping. And that's what you got to do against these teams. And look, in the next series, they'll have to do the same thing against the Nationals. Reds are first in baseball in stolen bases. The Nationals right behind them, number 2 in stolen bases.
Reds do not have a steal or a homer in the series. That's not even close. So Mike Baumann comes into an 11-0 game and throws 8 balls and 1 strike. And Drew French, the pitching coach, is out to the mound very quickly. I mean, you're going to win the game, but right now it's about making sure Baumann has a confident finish to the outing.
Yeah, missing up a lot with that fastball. It tells me the body's a little bit out in front. We'll probably talk a little bit about mechanics here.
The Orioles have allowed 2 runs or less in 6 straight games. That's the first time since 1989. They're trying to make it 7 straight. Right now they've allowed 7 runs in the last 6 games plus today. There's a high strike to Steer. That's the cutter from Baumann on the inside corner. Got the command back, 0-2. Steer 0 for 3, 2 ground outs. Cutter's in the dirt. Right now, the last 7 games for Oriole pitching, 62 1/3 innings, 7 runs. That's an ERA of 1.01.
1.0, very good, whatever it is, huh?
101, and the whip was 0.8. 0.80 in the last 6 games. That's gone down. The Reds only have 4 base runners and 8 2/3 today.
And it had to be good because that offense wasn't putting up runs for you. Been a little bit different today.
Steer fly ball to shallow center. A late break for McKenna. Hustling in. It drops in for a hit. The Reds were probably owed one of those. And a pop-up single by Steer that McKenna did not see.
No, McKenna did not get a good read on this. Almost like he took a step back, thought the ball was hit much harder than what it was. He came in wide open, but not able to get to it. Watch McKenna playing deep out toward right center field. See him kind of drop step right there. He thought the ball was hit a little bit harder. And that was just enough to cost him.
Was it the swing? Was it a long swing?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I mean, if you've been out there just shagging balls, sometimes you just can't tell. You see a big swing and it's not hit right on the barrel.
Jake Fraley to center, and McKenna will scoop this one on a hop, so a run comes in, and that will end the shutout bid. 4 straight base runners have reached against Baumann. It's 11-1.
Jake Fraley, a hit last night, breaking 0 for 22. 1 for 4 day for him.
Been a trying year for him. Fraley with an RBI single. Want to send our love, by the way, to Jake Fraley and his family. He and his wife announced earlier in the year that their daughter Avery is going through cancer treatments, diagnosed with leukemia. They did announce a few months ago that she was in remission, so they're getting some good news, hoping for more, but want to send our love and support to the Fraley family.
Absolutely.
This team, this community really rallied around them and their family. Has a wonderful reputation as a teammate, Jake Fraley, and know that he knows that his family's been so supported and loved by Cincinnati and the whole baseball community. We just want to share our thoughts. Couple of strikes on Encarnacion, Strand, and Bauman paints it 99. Strike 3, and the Orioles are 1 out away.
Big Mike reaching back for a little extra right there. We hadn't seen many of those. Little paint piece here, and on top of that, 99 miles an hour.
Jonathan India, the Reds' last hope. Into center from India. Ryan McKenna's there, and the Orioles sweep the Cincinnati Reds with an 11-1 runaway on Sunday afternoon. Anthony Santander drove in 5, and Ben, it's the 3rd sweep for the O's this year.
Yeah, Dean Kramer was outstanding. He set the tone. 6 innings of work, only allowed 1 hit, no runs. Struck out 6. Suarez was outstanding. 7 up, 7 done for him. Mike Bauman ends up giving up 1 in the last inning, but 3rd sweep of the year for the Orioles, and boy, offensively, they needed a day like this. 11 runs on 11 hits, 3 home runs. Santander, you mentioned it, he was the big offensive output. 5 RBIs, 3 for 4 day for him. Don't forget about Westberg. Big swing by him there in the 1st inning when the Orioles scored 2. He hits his 6th home run of the year, goes 1 for 4 with a couple of RBIs. So a sweep for the Orioles, and now the record has climbed to a season best, 12 games over 500, 23-11.
Santander and Westberg both hitless in the series with homers. Ryan McKenna with a home run as well. He reached base twice and scored 2. Ramon Urias, a struggling hitter, on base 3 times, scored 3. Colt Hauser hit some balls hard in an RBI double. Some of the Oriole hitters needed a get-right day. They got right, and the pitching helped. It's now the 7th game in a row the Orioles have allowed 2 runs or less, and Ben, you have to go back to August 1980. The last time the Orioles allowed 2 runs or less in 7 consecutive games. An amazing display by the starters in the bullpen this year.
Yeah, and I don't care who you play, and you do that at the big league level. I mean, everybody's getting paid to play the game. Everybody's professionals, and to do what the Oriole pitching has done, and it goes back 13 or 14 games they've been on this